This scene, Friday night, a group painting the Confederate flag on Pensacola's iconic graffiti bridge, only to see it painted over almost as soon as they finished. Groups and activists have been going back and forth.
Tell me what a Jim Crow law is.
Who cares?
Tell me.
Who cares?
It's part of our history. I hate symbols of white supremacy. Listen, we're...
To see that being put up on the graffiti bridge is, I had to take a step back and really put my feelings and my emotions together to figure out where I was and navigate through it.
Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Doug Baldwin, never shy to speak his mind, took to Facebook to share his feelings on the rebel flag being painted on the graffiti bridge, a common place for the community to express their opinions without prohibition.
Pensacola, Florida, home sweet home. Today, I want to discuss this picture depicting individuals demonstrating their freedom of speech taken in my hometown. In the late 40s, the flag was adopted symbol of the segregationist Dixiecrat Party, and Article 4 of their platform stated, "We stand for the segregation of the races." What does Southern pride and heritage really mean? Is this a sense of pride for the rebellious actions against a national government who had the audacity to say that secession was unconstitutional and slavery was wrong? Respectfully, DB.
Heritage, not hate.
In the days following Baldwin's June 27th post, the graffiti bridge became a nerve center locally for a contentious national debate.
The Civil War did not start over slavery. It started about the South wanting to secede from the North and be its own state.
Why did the South want to secede from the North?
To get rid of all the government's rules and taxes.
This is the wall. This is where they painted the rebel flag. You can still see remnants of it in the corner. When I looked at the picture and seeing these young kids come out here and paint it, obviously to me that felt like it was a lack of education, ignorance on their part, that they truly didn't know what they were representing, what were they supporting. So I wanted to speak to them. How does this flag that represents oppression, slavery, and racism and hatred to a large group of people, how does that symbolize Southern heritage and Southern pride?
It's what I grew up on. I've seen this my whole life. Just the fact that they're saying blacks pay taxes, so why should they pay taxes for something they don't want to see? Well, I mean, this is the South. It's what we've always done. We're the city of 5 flags, not 4.
Pensacola, Florida is known as the City of 5 Flags for having been a part of the Confederate States, as well as Spain, France, Britain, and the United States. The American Civil War still resonates here. In Fort Pickens, where blood shed, preventing Confederate soldiers from overtaking it, to monuments in Lee Square erected for their memory. The plight of African Americans still echoes in Pensacola, in unmarked graves where slaves were buried, to Plaza Ferdinand VII, where lynchings were still happening in the early 1900s. Yet despite the end of the civil rights movement, racism still impacts many lives.
I've been called everything, the N-word, go back to Africa, why don't you go pick cotton? And, it's ironic because I heard those things growing up, and my brother being 13, he said, "Doug, what does it mean? They tell me to go pick cotton." And I'm thinking to myself, he doesn't even know what that means, you know? They tell him, go back to Africa, and I'm not from Africa.
When you see someone today flying a rebel flag, holding it up, are those people in your mind racists?
I wouldn't say they're racist. I might think that they're ignorant. I'm all for freedom of speech, so I have no problem with people wanting to fly the flag on their cars or put it in front of their houses. That's not the issue. But when it's on state grounds, when it's on state property, they're not just representing themselves. If it's a concern of the society, the culture, the communities, the neighborhoods, then it needs to be addressed. It needs to be looked at.
So what do you say to the people who feel like the removal of the rebel flag is a whitewashing of history, and that history is a story, both good and bad?
I think that the argument that I would make is that we have history in museums that we don't forget about. Our history is not going to be forgotten. This is the history of Pensacola.
It's the fourth quarter, Quan.
Baldwin returns to his hometown every off-season, to spread his values of sportsmanship, mutual respect, and character building to the younger generation.
So we're gonna take care of the Bible first, we're gonna take care of our education second, then we're gonna take care of the ball. And then we're gonna learn how to put it all together, right?
The problem that I think our society has, the number one problem, is that we lack empathy. We don't think about the person next to us. And if, I can encourage somebody to step back from their emotions and actually look at the facts and look at the other side's opinion and inject empathy into the discussion, then that's the progress that I'm looking for.